the kind where the silence speaks louder than words. I sat on the living room couch, my mind racing, as I waited for Mark to return. It had become a routine, his late arrivals. But tonight, something felt different. I could hear the clock ticking, each second stretching longer than the last. Finally, the door opened, and in walked Mark, looking exhausted, yet somehow evasive. He greeted me with a quick peck on the cheek, but it was then I caught it, the faint but unmistakable scent of Anna's perfume. My heart skipped a beat, my mind whirling with questions. Why are you so late again, Mark? And why do you smell like Anna? Mark shrugged, avoiding my gaze. Oh, you know how it is at work. And Anna? Maybe she hugged me when we last met. I don't remember, honestly. I tried to shake off the uneasy feeling, but it lingered like a shadow. Over the next few days, I noticed more changes in Mark. He was glued to his phone, typing away, quick to hide the screen whenever I approached. His excuses for his absences became more and more vague. The real alarm bells rang at my mom's birthday gathering. I watched Mark and Anna exchanging glances, their eyes speaking a language I couldn't decipher. My heart pounded in my chest, a mix of anger and fear. I needed a sounding board, someone to tell me I wasn't going crazy. So I called my best friend Lisa. Lisa, I don't know what to do. Mark is acting so strange, and he always smells like Anna's perfume. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Lisa's voice was a balm to my frayed nerves. Okay, Emily, deep breaths. Maybe there's a reasonable explanation. Have you tried talking to Mark about it? Yes, but he just brushes it off. And there's this look between him and Anna. I can't explain it, but it's there. Lisa sighed. I know this is hard, but don't jump to conclusions yet. Keep an eye on things, gather more information. You deserve the truth, but you also need to be sure. She was right. I needed to know, one way or another. The following days were a blur of suspicion and uncertainty. I watched Mark, noted his comings and goings, the late-night texts, the hushed phone calls. The pieces of the puzzle were slowly forming a picture, but I needed more. One night, as Mark slept, I mustered up the courage to check his phone. My hands trembled as I typed in the code I had seen him use. The screen lit up, revealing a labyrinth of messages, emails, and calls. I felt like a trespasser in my own life. As I scrolled through his messages, a particular conversation caught my eye. It was with Anna. My heart pounded as I read their exchange, words that confirmed my worst fears. They spoke of meetings, secret rendezvous, and words of affection that twisted my stomach into knots. I put the phone down, feeling a mix of betrayal and clarity. It was real. The late nights, the perfume, the looks, they weren't just my imagination. Mark and Anna, my own sister, were having an affair. I sat there in the dark, my mind racing. I couldn't confront them yet, not without a plan. I needed to be strong, to think clearly. But one thing was certain. I would find out the whole truth, and they would have to face the consequences of their actions. I decided then, in the quiet of the night, that I would investigate further. I would gather evidence, confront them with undeniable proof. They had crossed a line, and there was no turning back for any of us. The next morning, I woke up with a resolve I hadn't felt in a long time. I was going to uncover the truth, no matter how painful it might be. The game was on, and I was not going to be the one left in the dark. Wrapped in my thoughts and a trench coat, I found myself strolling through the park, following Mark from a safe distance. It was bizarre, playing the role of a spy in my own life. But there I was, watching him as he glanced around nervously before slipping into a cafe. I waited a few minutes before following, slipping into a seat with a view. My heart raced as I saw Mark sitting across from Anna. Their heads were close together, their conversation hushed. I couldn't hear them, but their body language spoke volumes. Grabbing my phone, I pretended to be engrossed in it while I discreetly took photos of them. It felt like a betrayal, yet it was nothing compared to what they were doing to me. Later that night, as Mark lay sleeping, I quietly picked up his phone. My hands were shaking as I typed in his password, a simple combination of our anniversary date. The irony wasn't lost on me. The messages were right there, under a thread named A. My eyes scanned the screen, each word a dagger. Can't wait to see you. Miss you. Love you. The words blurred as tears welled in my eyes. How could he? How could Anna? I took screenshots, sending them to my phone. I needed this evidence, as much as it hurt to gather it. With a heavy heart, I put his phone back, slipping away into the darkness of our room. The next few days were a blur. I moved through them like a ghost, my mind always returning to the betrayal. I met Lisa for coffee, the weight of my discovery a tangible presence between us. "You were right, Lisa. They're having an affair." Lisa reached across the table, her hand covering mine. "I'm so sorry, Emily. What are you going to do now?" I took a deep breath, feeling a sense of determination rising within me. "I'm going to confront them, but not yet. I need to plan this carefully. They won't see it coming." Lisa nodded, her eyes filled with concern. "Just be careful, okay? You don't know how they'll react." I assured her I would be. But the truth was, I didn't know how I would react either. This wasn't just about exposing them anymore. It was about reclaiming my life, my dignity. Days turned into a week, and I continued to gather evidence. Photos, messages, anything that would leave no room for doubt. It was a painful process, but necessary. Then, one evening, as I sat alone in our living room, I knew it was time. I couldn't live in this limbo any longer. A plan began to form in my mind, clear and precise. I would confront them at the next family gathering. It would be public, undeniable. I picked up my phone and dialed Mark. "Hey, can we host the next family dinner? I think it would be nice, a way to bring everyone together." There was a pause before he answered. "Sure, Emily. That sounds great." His voice was casual, unsuspecting. Little did he know, it would be a dinner they would never forget. As I hung up, a sense of power surged through me. They thought they had deceived me, played me for a fool. But I was about to turn the tables. The stage was set, and soon, the curtain would rise on their final act. The family dinner at my parents' house was set. The table was adorned with my mother's finest china, the aroma of roasted chicken filling the air. Mark and Anna arrived together, their smiles as fake as the calm I was desperately holding on to. Throughout the dinner, I played the perfect hostess, all while my heart raced like a trapped bird. Mark was his usual charming self, laughing and joking with everyone. Anna, too, seemed at ease, but I could see a flicker of something in her eyes when she looked at me. As dessert was served, I knew it was time. Standing up, I cleared my throat, the room falling silent. "I'm glad we're all here together because there's something I need to say." Mark looked up at me, a puzzled smile on his face. "What's up, Em? You look serious." I took a deep breath, my hands trembling ever so slightly. "I've discovered something. Something that involves two people at this table." Murmurs rose around the room. My parents exchanged confused glances. "I've learned that Mark and Anna have been having an affair." The words hung heavy in the air, the impact immediate. My mother gasped. My father's fork clattered onto his plate. Mark and Anna froze, their faces draining of color. "That's absurd, Emily. Why would you say something like that?" Mark's voice was a mix of anger and disbelief, but I was ready. Pulling out my phone, I displayed the photos and messages for everyone to see. The room was deadly silent as the evidence circulated, each image a nail in the coffin of their lies. Anna was the first to break the silence, her voice barely a whisper. "Emily, I'm so sorry." Mark reached out, trying to take my hand, but I pulled away. "How could you, Mark? And with my own sister?" I don't know what to say, Emily. It just happened. I'm sorry, I truly am." My voice was steady, even as my world crumbled around me. "Sorry doesn't change what you did. You both betrayed me, betrayed our family." Tears streamed down Anna's face, but I felt nothing but a cold detachment. "I can't be around you, Anna. Not anymore." Turning to Mark, I felt a sense of finality. "And as for you, Mark, I want a divorce. I can't be with someone I can't trust, someone who would do this to me." The room was a cacophony of emotions: anger, sadness, disbelief. My parents were at a loss for words, their expressions a mix of shock and sorrow. I looked around at the shattered faces, feeling a deep sense of loss, but also of liberation. I had exposed the truth, as painful as it was. There was no going back from here. "I think it's best if I leave now," I announced, my voice unwavering. As I walked out of my parents' house, the cool night air hit me, bringing a sense of clarity. I had stood up for myself, refused to be a victim. The road ahead would be tough, but I knew I would get through it. I had taken the first step towards a new life, one where I was in control of my destiny. The day I finalized my divorce from Mark was a day of mixed emotions. Sitting in the lawyer's office, signing those papers, felt like closing a painful chapter of my life. It was done. I was free, yet the weight of what had transpired still lingered. Walking out of the office, I called Lisa, who had been my rock through it all. "It's official, Lisa. The divorce is finalized." Lisa's voice was warm and supportive. "How do you feel?" "Relieved, I guess, and a bit lost. But mostly I feel like I can finally start over." "You've been so strong, Emily. I'm proud of you. What's next for you?" I smiled, feeling a sense of hope for the first time in months. "I'm not sure yet, but I want to rediscover the parts of me that got lost in all of this." And that's exactly what I did. I started painting again, something I hadn't done since college. I joined a yoga class, finding peace in the stretches and the stillness. Slowly, I began to feel like myself again, but a stronger, wiser version. My family, especially my parents, were a constant source of love and support. They never pressured me to reconcile, understanding the depth of the betrayal. Anna tried to reach out, but I wasn't ready. Maybe one day, but not now. Some wounds take longer to heal. One evening, as I sat on my new balcony, overlooking the city lights, I reflected on my journey. The hurt, the anger, the resilience. I had come through the other side, not unscathed, but undeniably stronger. Lisa joined me, a bottle of wine in hand. "To new beginnings," she toasted. "To new beginnings," I echoed, the clink of our glasses a symbol of my newfound resolve. We talked into the night, about life, love, and everything in between. Lisa listened as I shared my dreams, my fears, and my hopes for the future. "You know, I've been thinking of starting my own business, something creative, something that's mine." Lisa's eyes lit up. "That's a fantastic idea. You have so much talent and passion. Go for it, Em." Her encouragement bolstered my confidence. For the first time in a long time, the future seemed bright and full of possibilities. The next morning, as I sat at my desk, sketching out ideas, I felt a sense of purpose. My experiences, as painful as they were, had led me to this moment. I was building a life on my terms, grounded in my values and dreams. A call from my dad interrupted my thoughts. "Emily, just wanted to say, we're so proud of you. You're doing great, kiddo." His words warmed my heart. "Thanks, Dad. It means a lot." As I hung up, I realized that this journey wasn't just about overcoming betrayal. It was about finding myself, about understanding my worth, and never settling for less than I deserved. Looking out the window, the world seemed vast and inviting. I was ready to explore it, to embrace whatever came my way. The pain of the past was a part of me, but it did not define me. I had triumphed over adversity, stayed true to myself, and emerged not just intact, but empowered. I closed my sketchbook, a smile playing on my lips. The future was unwritten, a blank canvas waiting for my brush, and I couldn't wait to see what masterpiece it would become.